going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the GSD podcast. I'm really excited about our episode this week. It's a unique episode, don't you think, Bonnie?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a very special guest today.
100%. And what's unique about this episode, and sorry, we'll get to introduce you here in just a second, Nina, but what I love about this episode is that typically we have state agencies come on to talk about the modernizations, the progress they're making, but today we get to bring on an organization that is partnering with our state agencies to give back to the community. Mm-hmm. And I love that. So
we have Nina Daylor. She is the vice president of the United Way Central Oklahoma, which is a big area. Tell us about everyone you serve.
So, we serve a very large area. We have your city of Oklahoma City as well as the metro that United Way of Central Oklahoma serves. But United Way in general, as a national organization, has about 1,100 organizations across the country that are serving different communities. So we're all independent. We're all have our own local governing boards, and we take care of our local communities. So you have a United Way of Tulsa, a United Way of Norman, Shawnee. So there's different United Ways, but we're covering at United Way Central Oklahoma, we're covering kind of the metro Oklahoma City area.
And I always think about United Way with thermometers too. I don't know if that's a Norman-centric thing, but that was always something I recognized as being, and so working up to those goals, right? And you all certainly have some goals over the past year or two now with COVID. That's been difficult. Let's lay a history of where you all have been, what you're doing, and where we're going.
Yeah. Sure. Well, so last year definitely was a challenge for all of us across the state, across the country. And, it's one of the things that I think we can all say as a nation, we were in this together, as we've heard many of times. So Central Oklahoma was not, we were affected just like everybody else. United Way of Central Oklahoma quickly went to work trying to make sure that our partner agencies could continue to serve the community. So we had a COVID relief fund that we started early in the year. Usually we run our campaigns in the fall, but we started this one right off at the first of the year.
Wow, okay.
Over the year, raised about $2.9 million to be able to go back to serve our community, to our agencies who were serving those citizens who were struggling in multiple different ways. I mean, trying to make sure our agencies had PPE to be able to serve the clients, to stay open. They were struggling to get that, so we were trying to help them to do that. The mental health agencies who were trying to do, their counseling were struggling because they weren't equipped to do it virtually.
Right.
Usually that's a face-to-face, so they were struggling to do virtual, and so that's expensive to get yourself set up to be able to do that. So we helped our agencies to be able to continue to serve those clients, and then just the basic, electricity, and people were struggling with their bills, their loss of jobs. Kids didn't have internet to be able to do their homework and to attend class. So it was challenges that we have never seen before that we took on trying to work with our partner agencies to be able to serve.
So I've been a state employee here for 5 or 6 years now, and I remember that very first year, even when I was working in the state senate at the time. And holiday season coming up, it's almost like everybody's gearing up for the state charitable campaign. Can you talk a little bit about your partnership with the state of Oklahoma and how you work with state agencies, how that happens, and then what the purpose is for the listener who maybe isn't in state government? They don't know what the state charitable campaign is. What exactly is this, and how do you partner to make that happen?
Sure. So about 30 years ago, I got my job at United Way because we worked with the state to put a law in place that we could allow state employees to have payroll deduction. So once that was put into place, then that allowed us to do a workplace giving campaign with state employees. Before they just would have to give cash or check, whatever they had at the time, but allowing them to do payroll deduction was a key piece to fundraising for employees in the state to be able to give back to their communities. So at that particular time, we started the state charitable campaign, which is just a campaign for employees in the state government to be able to serve their community through probably about 200 or so nonprofits that they have a choice to designate their dollars to. So we go in and we do workplace campaigns. You have fun with it. There's not any fundraising if you don't have fun. So we call it fundraising.
That's fundraising. The base word of fundraising.
That's
is fun,
right.
Absolutely.
So
you can't have fundraising without FUN.
That's right.
Yeah. So we go in and work with the state agencies and let their employees be able to learn about the partner agencies, learn about what's available in their communities, and then let them support those agencies through the state charitable campaign, through a workplace campaign, chili cook-offs, a lot of pie in the faces. We've done Kiss the Pigs.
That's
We've done
what we need to
all
do,
those
a pie in the face.
So lots of having some fun, being able to give back, and doing it with the ease of payroll deduction. You don't miss it. It's $2 out of your paycheck, $5 out of your paycheck each month, and then it adds up in the end to be able to serve lots of individuals in the community through the wonderful partner agencies.
How pivotal is it for you whenever you have the SCC state charitable campaign contribute? Is that something United Way looks forward to every year, and does it make a difference?
We do. We look forward to it, and so do all the other agencies. United Way is an agency in this campaign.
Right.
We help to administer it statewide for the employees. You kind of have to have an organization that kind of heads it and gets it started, and so that's what United Way's role is. We also then are allowed to receive some of the funds with it, but we have agencies from all across the state that are involved. And it is pivotal because we need to be able to let people give back. I've been working for United Way so much that I think it's a benefit that companies and organizations can give to their employees to allow them to be able to support their communities.
Right.
And if they will allow them to do payroll deduction, it makes it easy. And to me, that's kind of a benefit to that employee. So the state is making it easy for their employees to be able to give back, and that's so important.
So how much is, just ballpark, you said this has been going on for about 30 years. Have you seen through the years, like the numbers fluctuate a lot, or is it continually growing? What do you kind of see the historical data looking like?
It has grown. It had, it fluctuates. It has, when we very first started it, getting it off the ground and people getting used to it and getting the word out, that's kind of the key.
Right.
But it has grown and grown and grown, and then you hit a little spot in the economy, and people are like, whoa, I don't know, wait a minute, let me pull back a little bit, and then we grow again. Last year was hard for all of us.
Oh, I'm sure,
The workplace campaign is standing in front of the employees and letting them hear from the agencies, but
like
we couldn't
you said,
do that
so
last
much
year.
of it is like chili cook-offs, pie in the face. That's not really possible when everybody's remote. So how are you
You really
seeing?
have to adapt.
Yeah, 100%. So are you seeing big changes this year coming out of that?
We are. We were very virtual last year. We were really trying to do, we had to pivot, if you will, with how we did our presentations, and went very virtual, and you couldn't be in front of people. This year, I'd say we're doing a hybrid, and it will probably change the way we do workplace campaigns going forward forever, because more people are working from home. They're not in the office, but they can join the meeting. So either we're live in the office and we're live streaming to the rest of the employees, or we're doing some virtual presentations so people can join, and then we're also doing some chili cook-offs and being in front of folks in person. So it will change the way that we do campaigns across the board, probably forever.
And we are coming up on the Christmas season, so we want people to know there is an opportunity to continually give ahead of this time if it's been placed on your heart, because this is a season where if you don't have money, it's hard to feel financially secure and that you're providing and doing everything. So let's talk about resources, right?
Okay.
How big is United Way and able to help these people going through struggle? And then also, what are some resources available to those people that you would advocate for today?
So a lot of our agencies have different, and it depends on the population that they're serving. Obviously, one of the large United Way partner agencies is the Salvation Army, and they have their Angel Tree, and that is serving individuals across the community. So that is super important. Positive Tomorrows is a partner agency that serves our children who are homeless, and so they have opportunities of things that those kids are going to need. So we at the Volunteer Center at United Way of Central Oklahoma are working with our partner agencies to develop those needs and have a list ready, so when people call and want to help, they can reach out to our Volunteer Center, and they can either go volunteer, they can do some sort of a service project, or be able to donate to those different partner agencies.
Awesome.
But you're right, it's a tough season, and everybody wants to do what they can, and everybody wants to help. Oklahomans are very good at helping, and so then there's lots of different ways to do that out there.
No, I love that.
And you kind of hit on the audience, but I want to nail this down just so people understand. You can really make a huge difference in the life of someone. So let's just make a visual of who that is. When you say positive tomorrows, those are children experiencing homelessness. And there are so many other families that are in those crisis modes. So when someone gives, hypothetically, who do these dollars go to serve?
Okay, so when someone gives to United Way of Central Oklahoma, we have 55 partner agencies that we fund, and in those partner agencies, we fund 102 programs. So last year, United Way of Central Oklahoma made 850 service connections to individuals. So, you have to think about it. One agency can't do it all. Mm-hmm. So each agency has their own little niche in putting a person back together, if you will. Mm. So, if you are homeless, there's something that drove you to home. You didn't just lose your house one day. Right. Maybe there's an addiction. Maybe there's, a job loss. You need some retraining. Maybe there's some abuse. I mean, there's so many different things that individuals need to help them get their whole life put back together. And so those agencies are working together collaboratively with those individuals to be able to help them put their lives back together. 1 in 3 Central Oklahomans at some point in their life will be served by a United Way partner agency.
That is an amazing stat. And how cool is it to be in your position to be able to see those lives being changed, to see that happen?
It's amazing.
That's got to be cool.
It's amazing. It makes you sleep well at night.
Oh, I'm sure.
There's probably many times that there comes a sense of gratitude and then also some strife, knowing we can't help everyone all at once, but you're doing everything you can. So ways of giving, even for the average Oklahomans, if they see someone, a bell ringer this Christmas, or are there other ways to give that you would encourage them to look for?
Sure. Obviously, yes, the bell ringing, all of the partner agencies. One thing I would say to you before you give, if you have an agency you want to give, you need to look and do a little bit of homework. That's kind of what United Way does for you, is we vet these agencies. So if you're giving outside of our 55 partner agencies, look on Charity Navigator or GuideStar, check out the agency and see that's a place that you can go, websites that you can look at to find out about that agency and make sure that they're a viable agency doing good work in our community. So be sure you know who you're giving to and check the agency out. And those are 2 good websites to use.
And what were those again? Sorry.
Charity Navigator and GuideStar.
Gotcha.
2 different agencies that people, they rate agencies and they're looking at their financials and making sure that they're solid agencies.
And we've talked a lot about the giving aspect of it, but before we started recording, you had mentioned 211. So if you are someone in crisis, how do you come to receive services from United Way or one of the partner agencies or even that phone line?
That's correct. If you need a health and human service of some sort, I mentioned a car seat, or maybe you need formula, you need food, you need help with your electricity, you need counseling, and you don't know quite where to turn, you can call 211. It's a national number, but here in Central Oklahoma, United Way of Central Oklahoma funds this Central Oklahoma area and then west. The Tulsa Area United Way funds and takes care of the east side of the state with 211. But you can call that number just like you call 911. It's staffed 24/7, 365 days out of the year. It's a crisis hotline, suicide hotline as well, and that is something that we're facing more and more every day, something that's an issue. But you can call that number and tell them what your situation is, and they will try to find you services. Their database is massive, that are close to you, that you can get to, that's in your area, so that you can hopefully get some relief. And awesome. It's tough. So, dollars are hard to come by, so you may call in and they don't have anything currently, but just keep on it because we're trying to fund everything the best that we can.
Gotcha.
You're on really both sides of this. You get to raise the money and then you talk to the people. So this is where those problems and solutions come together.
That's right.
Right.
It is gratifying.
I just want to thank you again, first off, for coming on the show, obviously to talk about this. This is something, as we kicked off the episode, a special episode for us because we get to talk. We're approaching the holiday season. So many good efforts going on, and we just want to thank you for coming on the show to talk about what you guys are doing to give back to the community and organizing all these great efforts, but also just for what you do in your everyday job and in your everyday life and serving Oklahomans. That's really what this whole job or this whole program is about, is serving Oklahomans, right? So we want to thank you so much for doing that.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. And let me say thank you to the state employees who support the state charitable campaign.
Absolutely.
For supporting your communities in which
Yes,
you
ma'am.
live.
Well, guys, thank you so much again for joining us on this episode. We'll be having a new episode coming again soon. Merry Christmas to everybody, or Happy Holidays. And be sure to like and share this episode. And if you do want to go and you're interested, is there a specific website or anything like that you'd like for our viewers to check out?
Most certainly. You can go to the United Way website, which is unitedwayokc.org.
UnitedWayOKC.org. Gotcha. Okay. Well, Nina, thank you so much again for coming on the show. We just appreciate everything you do not only for the state, but for the state itself, but our state government, but for everyday Oklahomans who you serve every day. So
thank you so much.
Thank you guys again for joining us, and we'll see you soon on the next episode of the GSD podcast. Bye, guys.
Take care.